Hi.
Yeah, Melissa. Yes, dear.
Hi.
Tell us, where do we begin?
Wow, sorry, I'm still waking up from that meditation. Um, I would like I guess what's coming up for me is I really want to, I guess, work on trusting myself more and not giving my power away.
All
Uh,
right. What are you,
yeah,
how do you do it? How do
yeah,
you know, how do you know you have done it is maybe more to the point.
yes. Like, how do I know I've given my power away? And I'd like to be the person that no matter what someone is saying, I can go within myself and know the truth and not, I guess, get scattered or confused because that's what happens when I find things out that are kind of like blindsiding me or that I didn't expect to hear. I don't know if that makes sense. Um, and so I'm starting to see like maybe how I've given my power to authority a lot. When I was listening back to your session last week, I don't remember who you were talking to, but I was like, man, I'm doing that. Like I kind of just assume if you're more than me or you know more, like that, you're right, I'm wrong type of thing. Or yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, so that sense that, well, if you know more, then you must be right.
Mm,
Now, how can you truly know that they know more? Well, if they're a subject matter expert, then in that case they have the credibility, they have the standing in society that tells you this is someone you can respect, someone you can trust to have the information that you need. Now,
yes.
the question is, do you give them more credit than that? What defines them being an authority over you? How do you know that you've given your power away to them?
But listening to myself, I feel
So
is
what's going on into yourself that has you know that you gave your power away? And when you recognize it, do you take it back or do you just feel resigned?
yeah, I feel resigned, I think is what's yeah,
And so
and lost.
yeah, it would make sense that if you give your power away over to someone, and you say, "Oh, they must be right, I must be wrong," that you would then feel hopeless or helpless or lost.
Mm.
And so then we have to ask you the tough question. When you're in that mode, how old are you?
Um, 8 years old is what came to me in the meditation.
Yes, it's a young child, isn't it? Eight is
Mhm.
young, but it is young in the grand scheme of things. And can an 8-year-old be responsible for knowing exactly what's right and wrong? Does she have enough life experience, or does she need to trust someone who is an authority at that time?
So when you asked that, I heard yes, because I feel like as a kid, I was very intelligent and like the parent in my home. So I feel I grew up really fast.
Yes.
Like I didn't get a chance to be a kid. And that's what I'm noticing. I'm having a hard time just letting myself have fun and play. Like I've always got to be productive, be doing something, you know, God forbid I watch TV, like
So this is interesting. So we're going to make some connections here that might be uncomfortable,
hmm
but you're completely safe. So your 8-year-old has to be right, has,
Mm.
has to have all the information, has to have her ducks in a row because her parents didn't. Is that correct?
Yeah.
But she's 8 years old. How much world experience does she have? She's not even a teenager yet. Her domain is her house and maybe her yard and maybe a bit of school. Is that truly the qualities of resources that are required in life to be an authority?
Hmm.
We would suggest she did the best she could, and she did an amazing job, but she was doomed to fail. It was a matter of time before things fell apart, before somebody found out. You're only 8.
Hmm.
Wasn't your parents. They were happy to delegate to her on some level. It was a contract of shame. So we'll help you take care of that. But in the face of other authorities who were not your parents, teachers, principals, whoever she encountered that were wiser, that were more, how did she respond to them? Did she lean on them as the authority, or did she avoid them?
Um, I was usually good. I was the good kid. So, um, I do avoid certain authorities though.
Because what if somebody finds out?
Hmm.
Now, as a spiritual adult, you do have some authority, but the interesting thing is, why don't you trust it? Here's your 8-year-old who's quite confident, quite willing to take it all on, but underneath it is the lie. I'm only 8, and I'm angry that I'm responsible. Before the anger, though, is confusion.
Mm.
That came from, you see, before she took on the shame, she really was a free spirited girl. She did know how to have fun. She knew that she was smart and that she had strengths, and she was free to be. So at what age was she asked to take on the parent role? Was it then or was it earlier?
Well, I hear 6 when you say that. That's
It
what's coming
was
to
a
me.
little bit earlier. It was when she went to school, wasn't it?
Hmm. Yeah.
When she came home with new information that your parents didn't have. Well, if you're so smart, you figure it out, or something like that.
Hmm.
It should never have been put on her. She should have thrived in the new knowledge she was gaining. Should have never been a competition, should have never been a threat. But it was. But the minute she took on the shame, I'll be smart. I'll compensate for what you don't know. I'll take care of things. I'll be the adult, whatever it was. In that moment, she limited herself to a resonance of needing to be perfect, perhaps, or competent, super competent, a super girl, not a super woman because she was young, but a super girl, overachiever. But she wasn't an overachiever, she was an achiever. Overachievers are a label people use who don't know how to achieve when they see someone who achieves. But a person who knows how to achieve, they're not an overachiever. They're just an achiever. They're just good at what they do. And she has that quality. She knows how to get things done. She came in to this life knowing how to get things done so she wouldn't have to spend a lot of time learning that stuff. wasn't her main focus, was it?
No.
She was here to be a love and a light, to bring that love and be that light for the world. And she was that for her parents. However,
I
it became imbalanced. It became, I'll be that for you, but
okay.
then I don't get what I need. Does that make sense?
It does, yes.
And that's why the shame is there. It needs to be lifted. You can't lift it yourself. You created, you didn't create the contract, you were enticed into it. Hey, if you do this for me, I'll give you love. You're like, that sounds great. I can do that. I'm an achiever. I'm good at what I do. Piece of cake. Except that you're the one who knows how to love. You're the one who's the light.
Mm.
And so the shame diminished you, made you less free. Now, not to put you in a blaming mode or any of that, but there is responsibility by your parents to be taken. And so your higher self, as we're speaking, is going to lift that shame and bring it back to the point of origin as you just tune in to your parents. Did they begin that, or was it earlier? Was it their parents or further back? Who started it?
5 generations ago.
Yeah, it was a long time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Seemed like such a useful pattern. Get somebody else to take my responsibility. And so you have a conflict within you of when you want to show up and take responsibility. When it's for your parents, no problem. But when it's for yourself, wait a minute, I need somebody else to do it for me because
Mm.
that's the pattern. Except you are more conscious and you understand, this isn't right. I should feel like the authority. I'm the one who's doing, I'm competent. Why don't I get to be the authority at the end of the day? Does this other person have to be the authority? And so the confusion is because you knew deep within yourself that this wasn't right. This isn't okay. And so as we've been speaking, your higher self and their higher selves have all lifted the energy. It's not there anymore. Now you need to end the contract. Go into a meditation with your 6-year-old girl and say your parents are going to ask you to exchange. They're going to give you responsibilities you can't handle. And she's going to say, oh, I can handle it. I'm willing. I'm willing. Because she wants their love that much. And she needs love. She does not need responsibilities. And so sit her down and tell her, let's give you the love first, and then you can make a choice, but you're not going to choose a contract of shame. You can choose to be more. You can choose to be responsible as you grow for whatever's appropriate for your age. As you grow, yeah, you're capable. Yes, you're able to do it. But you're not supposed to be your own parent. And so you're going to create parents who are competent, who love her so much, who value her light and her love, who acknowledge who she is, and Let her play. That's what was lost. I better get down to business and I better get serious. I got to build some skills. I got this big job. I don't have time to play. I don't have time to be a little kid. She needs that back.
Mm.
She needs that reality restored to her. That's something you can do.
Yes, that is. Thank you so much. I appreciate your help in lifting that.
Yeah. So now when you think about the situation you're in where you feel as though you gave away your authority, as a spiritual adult, you can take responsibility.
Mhm.
You know what? I over delegated. I should have kept the things I like to do. Or, yeah, I didn't want to butt in. I didn't want to be the parent. I didn't want to make them wrong, but darn it, I knew they couldn't handle it. And I made it their job, just like my mom made it my job when I was 6. Because isn't that what you're supposed to do? Delegate to somebody who isn't enough, somebody who's incapable. So you can
Mm.
begin to see how you projected that and how it was inevitable because of what your little girl needed and what she learned. What she learned wasn't right and needed to be healed. And so this is her way of telling you, hey, I'm not good enough. I still have this stuff hanging around. Not anymore. And so the you that, dare we say, created the situation, wrote the script so that you could see, oh, this is what happened to me. Somebody gave me responsibilities I couldn't handle, except now I'm the perpetrator. I'm guilty. And I've done it to somebody else. And now I'm angry. And I feel hurt and betrayed. But those are the feelings of your little girl at 6. She took that shame on, that responsibility she couldn't handle. She felt hurt and betrayed by her mother. Wasn't right. She needs to be rescued from that situation. And you can do that. You have the skills. You have the love. She's good enough. Does that help?
It does a lot. Thank you so much.
So forgive yourself, forgive the people you involved without by giving them the script. You don't have to tell them if you're not on that level of communication, but tell it to them in meditation. You know what? I feel really bad, but it helped me so much. You gave me the gift of seeing what I suffered. And the feelings that I'm having with you, they're the feelings my little girl had. And I understand how unfair it is. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to forgive myself. And when I forgive myself, this out here can change. And some miracles can happen, which is what you've been wanting and asking for.
Yeah.
I let them in. Does that help?
It does a lot. Thank you so much. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you.
So, yes, and we want you to really understand you couldn't have figured this out. You could have, but not without help from your higher self, truly, because of the shame, because of the agreement you didn't even know was there, because you did have a strength that you rely on. You're good, you're capable, you're competent, you're more than enough. You're an achiever. And the world rewards achievement. And so then you wondered, well, I can't figure this out. Everything should be going right. Did a good job. I took on all the responsibilities, but I'm not having fun and it's not working and other people are hurting me. So it was all mixed up. Now you can go on and really achieve and have it be full of joy and fun and play. And it can be all it was truly meant to be. It can be full of light and love instead of the shame. It wasn't yours. You couldn't process it away. Still wondering, why did it take me so long? Because you were trying to process someone else's emotions. And when you find any topic, this is for all of you to hear. If there's something you've been trying to process away and it just won't go, it's shame. It has to be lifted by someone more. You can't fix it and you can't process it for them. It has to be taken responsibility for at the point of origin, where the first event occurred. In your case, 5 generations ago. How would your little girl have any clue about that? She couldn't have known that's what she was signing up for. She didn't deserve it. But as a soul, you came in to end shame. And that was your vehicle. You created a script where you would take it on so that you could end it. I'm ending this one. Really let in, oh, wow, that's how much I love. I was willing to take that on, even though it hurt me, so that I could one day end it. Because I know they can't. Because they aren't enough. But I am. The problem with shame is once you take it on, you forget who you are. You forgot I'm enough. But now you're restored. And as you go into your night, ask your higher self to complete the healing and to work some magic on your behalf around that topic, because you are able to create the miracles and you're able to receive them now. And you don't have to do it all alone. All right.
Thank
There's a lot in there, and we appreciate humility.
you. Thank you so much.
You're not the only one who has this topic, so it's been very helpful to many here. And so we thank you. We love you, Seth.
Love you too. Thank you.
All right, John, who's next?
Francis, if he can hear us.
Here I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, dear one.
Oh, good. John, thank you very much. It's been a real challenge to try to get on with you, because when I get on, I have no numbers on my phone that hit *6. But anyway, here I am, and it's good to be here with you, Tara.
Absolutely. Where do we begin?
Tara, I have some changes being made, and that is, I've been living in a place, not the perfect place, kind of an old place, and not as tidy as I would like it to be, but it was very affordable. And now he's going to be doing the whole house over again, and I have to leave by October 1st. So I'm a little concerned about that, because I need to find a place that's appropriate for me. So
Wonderful. So
maybe you can help me with that. Yeah.
You're expanding your image. So as you choose what are the qualities that you appreciate of the place that you have now that you want to continue, and then what are some of the things that, well, hey, this was okay, but I want more. I want some
Got
other
it.
to be added in. And go ahead and dream that you have plenty of time, and you want it to be affordable, certainly so. And you know what that
Yeah.
is for yourself. And so as you say, higher self, look, with harm to none, with elegance and ease, I just want to step into my new reality. And I know
Very good. Yeah.
you can help me do that.
Yeah. Now, should I talk to my future self as well as my higher self?
Certainly, for your optimal future self has energy for you. The you that already created it knows some things about what's most optimal. And you have
Yeah.
a sense of that. And as you commune with the optimal future you, who has it already, who's succeeded already, you'll also get a glimpse of what is the state of being that allows the success. Who,
Well, I can tell you that I like the fact that it's near things, near banks and near stores and near shops and near, I do like that. And I also like the guy who owns the place. And I've, had my own house for very inexpensively, but like I said, old and not optimal at all, but affordable, and it's been good. But what I'd like to do is move into a much newer place, and I'd even like it to be owned by me.
wonderful.
So yeah, yeah. So the good news is my health seems to be improving quite a bit, because I had a couple of years where my health was kind of iffy, and I'm not really used to that. I've always been a very healthy person, but I don't understand why I let myself get like this. Was it self-pity that I wasn't aware of, or something like that?
Well, that would be a pat little answer. No, it was not self-pity, but it was
Okay.
important for you to give up on some of your, we would call them better thans, because you did have health.
I did, yes.
Yeah. And part of you
Well,
thought,
getting sick,
no, why?
yeah,
Part of you said, I know why I have health and other people don't.
yes.
And as you really let in, maybe there's a mystery there. Maybe this,
Well,
maybe this reset of my body, my physical body, is a healing with more depth than just the physical you.
well, the one thing about this is it really creates humility. It really lets humility out. That every day is a new day, and you talk to your unseen, and your higher self and your optimal future self, and you want to get well, and everything else doesn't matter. It's just about getting well with ease and elegance.
Yeah. And
And
what is
that
well?
seems to be,
Have you gotten a broader sense of what wellness is?
yeah. The one thing that it goes up and down with me is energy, which is very awkward. I really like to have, you know, really great energy. And that's the one thing that's gone up and down. Some days I have okay energy, and some days I'm just exhausted. So, which is strange because as a young man, you know, I was always energetic. I was always very fit, very healthy, and a high achiever. And that's gone all to the wayside so far. But I'm looking for my optimal future self to be giving me some direction and giving me some ideas, if you know what I mean.
Yes. So some of the truths that you learned along the way are still valid for you. The focus on nutrition
Yes,
and on being good to your body and loving yourself more, and in your case, you thrive on truly on physicality. It's been an important
I
part of
do.
your life. The training that you have as you restore some semblance of routine, as you build strength, and you've come a long
I
ways.
have. I'll tell you what's a little odd is that, when I look at myself in the mirror, I look very fit. I look very healthy for a 67-year-old guy. And a lot of people guess I'm in my mid 50s. So that's a little crazy because my internal energy doesn't match my outer energy, if you know what I mean.
And so what's holding it back? What's
I
at the
wish I knew.
what's at the root of the
It
tire?
must be my beliefs, Tara.
So
Must be my belief system that
some
I have to make some
people,
changes.
yes, well, especially around what it is to grow old. As you
Yeah,
as you have had the opportunity, and perhaps you've done it recently, rewriting your death script, making the choice to be here. You see, it is
yeah,
the future that provides the energy for the now. And so
yes,
as you stand with your optimal future self who has the life that you are dreaming, that you're imagining, this is what I want. And there's a you that has it already. Say, look, I am wanting to create you. Give me some energy. What
yeah.
kind of energy
And
do
I,
and ask
I
your
am working on letting go of the past, Tara. I've
yes,
been working with Lazarus and some of the unseen, some of the tapes
wonder.
on really letting go of the past. So it's
So
funny because a lot of my drumming career has been coming up quite a bit because that was such a passion of mine. And it was a dream of mine to be a professional drummer. And I became one, and I was very proficient at it. And it's kind of cool to have a lot of rock star friends. And so I've been having those kind of dreams and feelings about, going out and you know, being a really strong drummer again.
and that tells you what you need to do
Yeah,
to build the physical stamina. That's a
seems
physical
that way.
that's a physical plane topic, isn't it? Meaning, okay, I
Sure is.
strengthen my energy, my physicality. I can't just do it in meditation and the next day walk out the door and think I can play a 3-hour set.
True.
Just sit at the drums and practice. I might have to walk and do what I know to do to strengthen myself. I have many years of martial arts background. You know what to do.
Yes,
And
I
you
do. Yeah.
also know that the strength comes from within you.
Yeah.
That true strength begins within you. That's one of the lessons in martial arts, is that in order to be effective, you must tap into the universal life force energy that's always there for you. If you
Yes.
push against energy, you never get anywhere. But when you tap
Allow it.
into the energy, then that energy supports you. That energy flows into you and through you. And with that, you can sustain long hours of activity. And so when you would drum and you would flow your passion and your creativity, bringing your soul energy in through you, you had unlimited energy.
I did. Yeah.
And you can have that again.
I'm hoping to, my management teams of my different bands I was in uh, had a nickname for me called Big Beat because, as you know, I'm a larger fellow, but I played really hard, and some people say quite well, but you know, I understand I'm older now, but I'd still like to get back to that somewhat, if you know what I mean.
Yes, absolutely. And so we want you to leverage the belief that, well, musicians are long-lived and they play music until they die, and many live quite long lives. So as you really let yourself support your belief system with the consensus in this case, that wow, music keeps people, helps them live longer, keeps them fit, helps them thrive.
Well, my heroes from the 70s and 80s are still playing now, which is crazy. I'm so, and many of them have become my good friends. It was kind of a dream. I enjoyed, their hits so much through the years. I've become quite friendly with them, and it's really kind of a cool thing. It's a dream come true. So I'm ready to get back. I'm ready to get back to playing. Of course, in the last couple of years, I had some close calls. Wasn't sure if I was going to be here or not on this plane, but I guess in a way, I made a decision to get back and to be as good as maybe I've been before.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's a little on the exciting side,
Absolutely.
really.
And as you spoke
Yeah.
last time about your adolescent, that he has his dream. Well, let him have his dream and you can pursue yours, and the fullness of it, knowing who you are, the spiritual adult that you are, that you can create your version with elegance and ease.
Yes, absolutely. I'd like to, in that reality, I like to include a very compatible partner for me too. Somebody, as a younger man, I'm embarrassed to say, but I was very oriented towards physical relationships. And now I'm much more interested in a friendship. I look at John and Katrina and I just am so grateful that they are so happy together. And it's joyful to watch them together. And I'd like to have something in that direction.
Wonderful. And so You
Yeah.
already understand that that's all about being loving,
Yes.
and you know how to be loving.
I practice it every day. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this to you, Tara, but when I'm out shopping a few times a week and I see a young family, mother, father, and kids, I walk up to them with a smile. I go, "You have such a beautiful family. You must have done something really great to create this." And I see the goodwill and see the happiness on their faces, and I feel really good about that.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Yes, spreading the joy.
absolutely. And thank you for help spread the joy too, Tara. These calls with you are so just a breath of fresh air and great reminders, and also really great guidance and direction on making the goals come true. So thank you for that, Tara.
Absolutely. We love you so. And about the
Love you
tiredness
too.
that you sometimes experience. So when you sense that, okay, you wake up and you might call it, I wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm tired today. I wasn't tired yesterday. Now I'm tired. Just the thought I'm tired can make you more tired. Now, that doesn't mean you
Yeah.
should filter your thoughts and not have that thought. If it's there, it's there. But as you say, just because I'm tired doesn't mean my whole day has to represent that energy. And you
Well,
ask,
that's a good thought. Yeah, that's a good thought.
and then ask your higher self, look, higher self, I'm starting my day tired. And historically, that means the rest of my day will probably be tired. But what if you could slip in a miracle here and there? What if you could work some magic on my behalf so that my whole day isn't
Well,
about being tired?
that is great. Yeah,
And just give,
that's something I never thought about.
and what you'll find is that you'll have fewer days where the whole day is tired, and you'll have a lot more miracles.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right. We love you so. And John,
Love
who,
you, Tara.
Helen,
absolutely.
Helen, are you there? Maybe she's not available.
Yes, she may be busy. All right. We'll go on to the next.
Um, let's see. Dan.
Hello.
Hey, Dan.
Yes, dear one.
Hi there.
Tell us where to begin. Just for the group, go ahead and phrase your question however you like.
well, I find that everything's going great. I'm making very good progress. I feel like in every aspect of my life, which I'm thrilled about. The thing I have some trouble with is balance, I think. So there'll be something where, all right, I'm, doing great with career and everything's going good at work, but now I'm not sleeping the way I used to, and I'm working longer hours. So now I'm not hitting the gym, and my health is suffering. Or I'll be at the gym and I'm working out, and I'm like, I miss my wife. I want to get home. Like I should be spending time with her. So it's just something where I just find like I have all these categories that make up my life, and it's very hard to get them all balanced and optimal. And or I can balance them out and have none of them be optimal, which doesn't feel right either. So um, I am just looking for the magic trick, to make it so that I can be firing on all cylinders. I can do everything I'm trying to do justice, and I'm not depleting one thing in order to excel in another thing. Like I have goals in my marriage and goals as a father and goals in my career and goals for my health, and they're lofty goals and I feel like I can do it. It's just hard in the moment to know how to make it all work at the same time so that everything is just perfect. And I used to think I was afraid of things. Yeah, I think I used to be afraid of things being perfect, and I'd kind of trip myself up. And I'm not anymore, and I'm aware of it. I really want it to be good. So, I just need the secret, if that's not too much trouble.
So we'll give you the secret. Complexity brings ease. So that is something for your conscious mind to work on while we work with the unconscious mind, while we speak with you. All right. So there's this sense of, okay, I want to create a life that I love. I want to create love and life force energy in everything I do. I want to become more and more and more of who I truly am. And I want that expanded me to be reflected back to me in all of these areas. And part of you says, that's going to take a lot of work. I'm tired before I begin. But that's not who you are. That's the lesser self who's strategizing, who's trying to figure it all out and do it perfectly, or do it in such a way that all the needs get met and everything's in balance and harmony all the time. But you already have shown yourself that, well, the real important thing is to know what direction I'm going in. So as I let that optimal future me, who has it all. See, it's one thing to meet with the optimal future who has the career, and then to who has the health, and then who has the money, and who has the wife, who has the children. As you understand that there's a you that has it all, and that you has created balance, but not perfect balance, enthusiasm and energy and focus at times, and also time for recharging and solitude. Solitude may or may not be part of the recharging, doesn't have to be. But there's an elegance and an ease and a complexity to that you who's willing to have it all. I'm willing to show up. I'm willing to have it all. In fact, I'm dreaming it. I already even know some of the finer details of it. I just don't know how it all fits. So as you take time to step into the you that's a little further out in the future, maybe even than the projects you're involved in or the immediate goals that you've set, just take the you that's a little further out, not a lot further, but still relatable, but beyond the challenges that get you there. The you that's celebrating, that has deep contentment and wisdom and passion and a state of wellness, a sense of true wellness. And within that, you'll find there's a sense of your worth that is given. It was in the meditation tonight. A sense of the worth that is given by God, Goddess. And along with that, the love that is given. An infinite source of love. So all of the energy, all of the priorities, when they're in alignment with your sense of being all that you can be, the love and the light that you are. How can this be an expression? How can that be an expression? And so on and so on. You do have priorities. And in a world that seems to be moving faster and faster, Complexity brings ease. And so you've learned in business, maybe I don't have to do it all alone. Maybe I can have a team. Maybe I can do some and they can do some, and together we'll create something more. And the same with your relationship within the family you are building. Maybe we dream infrastructure that supports all of us having our needs met. Wow, can I have that? You mean I don't have to be the one who does this and that, and my wife doesn't have to do all that she does, and my kids don't have to do all that they have to do? We can create a support system that frees all of us up. Wow, what kind of life would that be? See, now you're giving the money you're going to make purpose. And money flows more easily when there's purpose. Not to say that you're having any problems around money, but you have big dreams. And those big dreams need structure. They need to know that the you that creates it has valued yourself more and dreamed the resources, dreamed the structures of fulfillment. Wow, what if I don't keep thinking it won't get done unless I do it myself? What if I don't think anymore that, well, I'll do this and she'll do that, and we just hope nothing falls through the cracks? What if we sit down and prioritize? What's fun for me to do? What's fun for her to do? And then there's this whole bunch of stuff in the middle. Wow, we need to find somebody to do all that. Because we want to focus on the fun. And that means the intimacy, the caring, the play, the love. And as you really let in, wow, I actually have that in my dream. I need to prioritize putting energy into creating that. I want to create that sooner than later, not when I retire and the kids are all grown up. I want to be a part of it now. And so I need complexity. I can't think in terms of it's just me, or it's just me and her, and we got to figure it out. Because that is too heavy. That is too difficult. That means things just can't get done. Now, do they all have to get done? No, what you're going to find is some things really don't matter. Of all the list of things that have to be done, some of them really aren't a priority. And you know which ones are the priority. And when you let in, time is an illusion. I can have more time. I can create more time. I still have a 24-hour day, but the way that I interact with time could be more magical. Instead of this project that I just know is going to take 12 hours, wow, we get it done in 4. I have 8 hours of free time, as an example.
My wife often says I stretch time. That's what the way she puts it. So I know exactly what you're saying, where things
Yes.
that should take 8 hours can take 4 hours if you
Yeah.
kind of disappear into it and make it happen.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
you're allowing it, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
we add that to the mix. Yes, I'm gonna continue that. That's one of my superpowers. That's part of my magic, is that I have rapport with time. I'm a time magician. Not everybody is, but you are. And so then, but still, yes, you can still be in charge of time even when you create other people involved. See, you haven't added them in yet. Right now, you're at the effect of if I delegate, I'm at their mercy and they don't have time magic. So create it differently. Give permission to the universe to have those people benefit from your time magic when it is meaningful to you, with harm to none, with elegance and ease. Does that help?
absolutely. Yes. Thank you very much.
Yes, we love you so. So helpful, so wonderful what you're up to. And as you really let in, we began with you are someone who wants to create a life you love where you have it all. There may be better words for having it all. You have your own version of it. But as you really let in, yeah, that's what I'm up to. And the people I love are part of that dream. I'm dreaming it with them. And that matters to me. I don't see me having it all without anybody else around. That's not my dream.
It's very true. So
Wonderful.
thank you.
All right. We love you so. All right, John. Are there any others?
Yes, Henry.
Hello, Tara.
Yes. Where do we begin?
To be with you. Last week was all about connecting with higher self in a really connecting way, and I was doing what we were doing, and I didn't. I found it difficult to really get to that sense of connection with higher self, and there was a thing in the meditation tonight. The when I was being born, just rejected by both parents and feeling alone, and then this aloneness being safety, which we probably talked about before, but uh, there's also, so what becomes even more with my child really, is this determination, and it would just be wonderful if I could. There's just absolute, total determination to do what he wants to do, even though he may not necessarily want to do it, but it's what he shouldn't do, or what he's been told he shouldn't do. And it'd be wonderful to get that determination in. We did talk about making the chores fun, but just to be able to turn that determination into determination to work with my higher self in that
And
way.
so, what age was he when you're aware of?
I'm thinking it's 8.
Okay. So already quite wise, 8 years of life under his belt.
Right.
Quite certain that he's pretty competent. And he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He knows what he wants.
Yes. Did you tell me a few weeks ago that at that age he actually could have killed?
We did not tell you that.
No,
No.
I heard it. I wonder what
Oh,
that
that's all
was.
right. He could have. Well, because you see, in the range of power, empowerment, and to really know power, there is always the full range available. And that can include a fear that I will kill something. And maybe you did. Maybe you did kill something. Or maybe you had a vivid imagination in which you did.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter. The imagination doesn't distinguish between what happened in the more real and what happened in physicality. What tells you whether you did or didn't is the feedback from the physical plane. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I'm just thinking,
Well, and
of
feedback
course,
means somebody told you that you did, or you had gotten trouble for it. There were physical consequences for doing so. So when we put it in those terms, which way did it go? Was it in imagination, or was it something you actually did do?
well, I'm just thinking a couple of years later in the wounding, he thought he had killed, and
But you clarified that in fact he had not, because when mother
and
came home, clearly he did not.
yes, but for a while he
Power
thought,
of his imagination, isn't it?
right,
However, in order for there to be that depth of misunderstanding, that is the danger of being all alone. That's the danger of being isolated and disconnected from the whole. So the whole in your young man's life was parents and siblings and whatever the environment was. So as you understood that, oh, I really isolated the noise of my environment. I needed to be isolated from it. And so I went inside myself and I lived in my imagination. And I would hear things and that would spark my imagination. I would hear a piece of information. Maybe you heard your father's side of the phone call where he hears that your mother had an accident. And then you immediately went into your imagination and you imagined all sorts of things, not getting the rest of the information, not knowing to check. Hey, did mom die? What are we dealing with here? No. Your imagination was so vivid that you thought it was real. You thought it had happened. Your version, that is, until you were corrected. And we would suggest that in your wounding, it was really the correction that was the problem. Your higher self was with you throughout all of this. Your soul came in to keep you from getting lost in your imagination. And you became confused. I don't get it. I thought I was right. No, you were not. But I thought I was. It was so real, but you were not. It created a crisis of confidence. But it led you to begin to differentiate between what am I imagining And what am I manifesting? It's an important skill that you cannot do without if you're going to be responsible for the magic you create, you see? Because otherwise you'll just live it all in imagination and you won't actually do what you came here to do, as you have done throughout your life. You have manifested the magic. You have created something new, and then you have measured your skill. And then you did it again and again and again. And it's been a life of in pursuit of creativity, of manifesting your creativity. But that wasn't going to happen if you didn't have your wounding. Because you see, the gift of your time of eternal youth was that depth of imagination, but without boundary, without rules, without structure. You were lost in it. And so the gift that your soul, you had to have the wounding to learn to harness the power of your imagination. And you've blamed your higher self ever since. Perhaps, maybe not so succinct, because at the time you blamed God because you didn't know you had a higher self. But along the way, you figured out, oh, higher self will do just as well as God. And it's not all the time that you feel that way, Henry. When you're connected, you love your higher self and you know that you are loved. And you create magic and you have fun and you dream new dreams. And then when you're faced with something you don't want to do, well, why aren't you making it go away? And your higher self saying, who, me? You're the one who put it there. Why do you keep putting it there? Well, can't you make it go away? Well, no, because you keep putting it back. Until you write a different script, it's going to still be there. You're starting to get it. You're starting to understand, oh, okay, if I really own that I put it there, then I can change it. It's good news that I put it there, because then I can change it. What if I don't know what I want to change it into? Well, just begin with, I don't want this. And so maybe I'll at least give myself a clean slate for a little while. Yeah, but then I don't know who I am. See, then that is the conundrum. The identity does assert itself because you must have an identity to exist in the physical plane. You must have at least one identity. You have many of them and they make up your image, but you must have at least one. And so when you don't bring the identity that you have when you're creative and connected and magical, if you don't carry that into this thing that you don't want, my life that I don't want, then you have a different identity here.
Yes, which I saw in the meditation, which
Yes.
is
And it vies for attention, it vies for resources, it vies for uh, getting you to believe that it's all there is. It's
yeah.
no fool, it's no dummy. It knows how to exist. Once you give it existence, it wants to continue to exist. So you have to do a little bargaining. You've served me well. I'm not able to create a life I love and maintain you also. But I'm grateful for you. You kept me safe. You helped me through the painful experiences that I had. But it's not fair to ask you to be a part of this creativity. Unless, of course, you want to be. And then you give that you a choice. Hey, you want to come along? Want to be part of it, or are you done? And it will give you an answer. And it will either dissipate or it will integrate. It has a choice. But the you that is in pain, that has been handled. But it's so comfortable to think I'm still in pain. It's all I know. It's not actually true. You
No,
want the ability to feel your feelings, the full range.
Right.
But you're also recognizing, wait a minute, as a map maker magician, I really have the authority to create positive experiences. I don't have to grow through pain anymore. I thought I did. Part of me thought it was only worthwhile if there was pain. No pain, no gain. I have to own that. I have to understand I chose that. But you don't need it anymore. It's done its job. You've become individuated. The wounding has done its job. It kept you from being lost in imagination and never living a life. Yeah, but I could have had a different life. Why did I get this one? You had a life. And you have more life in you. And the life ahead of you doesn't have the same stuff, the same limitations. But you have to choose it. And you have chosen it. We know you have, or you wouldn't be here. You would have thrown in the towel long ago. But you're making maps for your world, one free of pain. Free of pain, free of shame. Valuable maps. The other maps you're making are around creativity and living your passion and living and loving your imagination. Bringing your imagination to life in the physical is part of your work here. And as you sit with that and let that in, oh, I know what that imagination is. I had it in my time of eternal youth. And then I discovered it wasn't real, quote unquote. But it wasn't really that it wasn't real. It was too real. It needed to be brought into the physical plane, given form, given expression. And when you have chosen to do that, you have been wonderfully, magically successful. It seemed as though you were living a dream. And then something would pop up that was next to work on. Loving yourself more, building self-confidence, knowing you're worth loving, whatever it was. Things come up. Because as your soul comes and urges you to grow, you figure out, oh, what I have now was good, but it's not enough for my next thing. And so you're at that boundary again. So you bounce back from it a few times into what you were before. And then you're like, this isn't what I want. Why bother being here if this is all I'm going to get? And then you creep up again to the boundary and you look over the wall and you see the magic over there. See what could be in your imagination. Hey, your imagination's calling you again. Hey, let's create this. Let's get rid of that old stuff. Let's go do this. And then you go into the self-doubt. Should I? Last time I tried, well, you know how it was in my wounding. I was wrong. Can I even trust my imagination? I was wrong. The conclusion was wrong. The ability to imagine different scenarios in full color, technicolor, was not wrong. But making a conclusion about what was real in the physical plane too soon, not being willing to question. Oh, wow, you mean all the stuff I imagined? It's not manifesting? Well, that seems to be your current problem, right? I'm imagining, but it's not manifesting. But you see, the wounding tripped you up. Does for all of you. It's not just you. You give it too much weight. It was important to give it weight because you were not understanding the power of your imagination and its role in creating physical reality. You decided it was all that was needed, but that wasn't true. And if you continue to think it was all that was needed, you were going to get lost in there. And this lifetime would not succeed. You were not going to bring all your lifetimes home, but you are. Because of your wounding, you are. Because you went and sought answers. I need to know what happened. I need to know how to get back there. Well, actually, you need to get back there and then do the next step, which is what you've been practicing. Wow, if I go in my imagination, I imagine something new and I desire it and I expect it, and then I come into the physical world and I make it more real here. And I begin to manifest and I respond to the manifestation. They show up as opportunities. They show up as things I need to do, steps I need to take. The more steps I take, the more it manifests. But in your wounding, you questioned yourself. You doubted yourself. You had to. Part of the wounding. You had to go within. You had to go look for meaning within. It's been a long road. But if you were to write the story of your life, it has been a grand adventure. And you want to finish strong. Your optimal future has gifts for you, has realized all of this, even knows how to transform it all. And your connection with your higher self. If you can meet with your optimal future self, by definition, you're connected with your higher self. As you let that in, oh, I've been making it this complicated thing. to connect and make him more real or her real, as you let your higher self just be with you always, as an energy, as a presence, as a loving presence, much like your shadow, but not. Your shadow has a different function. Your higher self is aware of you and all your lifetimes, every single one of them. So when you meet with higher self, as you let in, wow, it's like meeting with an encyclopedia of all my lifetimes. There are themes. There are themes in all my lifetimes that I'm here to heal. I'm here to make whole. I'm here to bring them home. I made that commitment. Hey, I don't know what I was thinking. How am I going to do that? You're not going to do it alone. You do it because you create that relationship. You do it because you can imagine, because you have a depth of imagination that allows you to be in the more real, easily, effortlessly. And you just need to remember, every time I journey into the more real, I get to participate. I can ask for new things. I can bring the problems of the mundane into that and say, hey, I got this situation. What do you think? And they're going to say, well, we don't really have that problem. Can't help you there. Better talk to yourself. And then you go talk to your higher self and say, I got this problem. What can you do to help? And you're going to learn real quickly whether you're willing to help, to get help, whether you're actually asking to be helped, where your receiving is at, whether you make yourself bad and wrong for needing anything at all. You're going to learn a whole lot in that moment. Just a brief moment with higher self lets you know exactly where you're at. And then you're going to ask for help anyway. Okay, I know I still have to work out all this stuff, but can you help me with this problem? Can we change it? Can we find solutions? Can we create a miracle? And your higher self is probably going to take you to see the goddess. Because the goddess always says yes. And as you let in, your higher self said yes a long time ago, but you couldn't hear it. So your higher self takes you to the goddess. And you're going to feel this all-encompassing yes that fills your soul with joy. And in that moment, the answers come, what you need to do. Okay, I think I can do it. Whatever it is, I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to do it. And the action you take next doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be right. It just has to be an action toward the solution. And then the magic can occur. Because you see, when you keep it in the imaginal realm, you have an instruction that you gave yourself from the wounding. Unless I take an action, I'm not going to let it be real. So you have to take an action. It's your own rule. It's a good one. You should keep it, don't you? It's the right one for you. It's a healthy one. And it is one of the maps you're making, how to bring the imaginal realm and the more real into the physical plane. So that every day in your life is magical, is full of miracles, full of love, joy, transcendent moments of beauty. That's who you are. And you know that. Because as you're listening, you're like, yeah, that's me. That's important to me. That's what I'm up to. Yes, each of you. Such a depth of vulnerability. We appreciate each and every one of you for your willingness to share of your true self, of the light, of the love that you are. You're right on track. You're becoming more. And as you allow that will, that willingness, that magic to come forward that you gathered, a new level of magic that you gathered in the meditation, you are going to see and feel and live the difference. Beautiful. And so we go for now. We go with love and peace as we bring Katrina back. Until next time.